I'm going to call this video, If You Knew Who You Would Become. Stick around. You never know what you'd be missing if you cut off right now. If you knew who you would become. That question's pretty poignant. If you knew who you were going to become when you were very, very young, would you like that person? Would you dislike that person? Would you make decisions differently than what you did? These are questions that I asked myself this morning. Question number 1. If you knew what you would become when you were young, when you were a child, if you knew what you were going to become, if you knew the decisions you were going to make, if you knew where you would end up in your life, would you have done it different? What would you have done differently? The second question I asked myself, and I thought about this for a long time, how far do I have to go back to find the first decision that I made that was a very poor decision? And it started me on some sort of little path of destruction that maybe stays with me today. What was the first mistake that you made that you can think of in your life? What was the first decision that you made that was a very poor one? Sometimes it's a decision of commission. In other words, that you did something, you chose to do something, and it was a very poor decision. Sometimes it's omission. Sometimes we just sit back and say nothing and do nothing when we should be throwing up the red stop sign and saying, I'm not going there. I'm not doing this. This isn't right. Sometimes we're led in the wrong direction. But I think all of us somehow, if we contemplate enough, will know where we made that first wrong turn. I'm going to interject into here the fact that it would be really, if you enjoy my content, to hit the like button and subscribe. This is a laid back channel. I want it to be laid back. This is for normal people that have normal or abnormal problems, but they get up in the morning and they've got dirty dishes, and sometimes they feel lazy and they don't do a dang thing but sit around their PJs all day long. Or maybe you have got more sincere problems. Maybe you're homeless, but you see yourself as very imperfect. Well, you are in the right place. So I want you to feel welcome and at home here. The third question that I asked myself was, considering where I want to go in the future, what are the decisions that I have to make now? Not only to make amends and change the path that I have gone on that is very destructive, very negative, and very hurtful, not only for me, but for many, many other people. I have hurt a ton of people. So when I'm whining and crying and going on about how I've suffered and how people have done me wrong, don't ever think that I haven't had full admission of the harm that I've done to other people, because hurt people hurt other people. And it's our decision to say whether or not we want to continue on with that pattern. If you're hurt, get your hurts healed. Find ways to heal yourself, and it can take years to heal. But become knowing, become aware, gain an understanding of not only how you've been hurt and how that affected you, and how you may hurt other people, and change that. Humanity needs that. Families need that. Finally, I want to talk about how that micromanaging tiny, tiny little decisions in your life can advance you on the road to happiness and achievement and good things not only for yourself but for others, because we always influence others. But I remember watching Jurassic Park, I think it was the first one, and the scientist was telling the blonde lady how that all the little hairs and the grooves in your hand, if you get a drop of water and it begins going down your hand, you never know The destination could be anywhere at the bottom because of the verifications of the wrinkles and the hairs and the imperfections in your hand are going to direct that drop of water that falls. If you have a dream, if you have a place that you want to go to, whether it be emotionally, physically, if you have a goal, you can set 5 huge goals, 6 benchmarks, you can have all kinds of steps and big things that you do. But ultimately, it's the micromanagement of yourself. Because if you get up in the morning and you think because you are captured in the grip of grief, captured in the grip of hate, if you are captured in the grip of living with a narcissist or living with an abuser, maybe you're living with a drunkard, maybe you are a drunkard, maybe you're a drug user. But if you think that you're just going to get up one morning and you've got a plan for 5 steps to freedom, that it's going to work. It may, but I have a better suggestion. Get up in the morning and pretend and act and feel like you are the person that you want to become. And there's going to be 25 little steps before you even brush your teeth and get dressed and have your breakfast that are going to be little micro crooks and turns in your day that's going to either take you down the path of that success or take you away. Maybe it's a kind word that you can say to your partner. Maybe it's a kind word you can say to your child. Maybe it's that little grasp of anger that hits you, or that little turn of avoidance that might hurt the path that you want to go on. So in micromanaging your life to reach the goals you want to go in, and trust me, I'm in the trenches every day when it comes to this. We spent 2 hours today in the therapist's office as a family. We never let down our guard. We stay on guard 24/7 to become who we want to be and where we want to go and our goals and our dreams. And that can be hard. And when exhaustion hits, the next thing in line is go to bed, rest, stop thinking about it. That also is part of the plan. Start paying attention to the little bitty things that you don't do, that are affecting your path. And you will find this to be a much greater influence and a much greater path than just having big chunky benchmarks, tasks to do. It's micromanaging, but you have to micromanage within that rest, self-care, love for yourself and for others, forgiveness, joy, enjoyment. Think about the little bits, the titty bits, just like I mentioned earlier. I am going to say and call this video done. I am going to say goodbye. I really appreciate all of you, and I will see you on the next video.